All right, guys, let's get into the stock market technical analysis. Big things happening today, so I definitely want to point those out. Again, we're going to likely go into a major trend. It really looks like we're potentially setting up for the next leg lower in the bear market. Now, again, you won't hear about this from the media. Obviously, they were pumping the market. They were talking about how the bull market, the bear market's over. We've broken the trend. Everything looks good. Just go back, go back a couple weeks and look at how YouTube was basically extremely bullish on the market. Look at my comments in the videos. On my videos, you'll see, and this is the nature of the beast. The masses, the majority of people are always bullish for one. All right, bears are typically, if you're bearish, you're typically going to be a minority, and you can't have the masses bearish, all right? Because again, if you have most people short, then the market drops a little, and then they cover, and the market, goes back up from there when they start short covering. So let's get into the chart, guys. If you guys are finding value in the content, if you're making money based on the content, at least you can do is drop me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know how I'm doing. I do appreciate that. And then if you're interested in learning this as a skill set, if you want to, basically learn how to really put this together at yourself and not just follow my YouTube videos, then again, check out my stock market technical analysis course. I put that together a couple years ago at the request of my subscribers, about 4 to 5 hours of video trainings and checklist. It's not a day trading get rich quick course. Again, I never preach that, all right? I'm never talking about how you're gonna buy a Lambo and all that. That's the pump train, all right? You guys want that, you're gonna have to go over to some other YouTube guys that are gonna show you, wealth and try to sell you something, some fake thing. All right, this is really just education, all right? It is literally technical analysis training course. So check it out if you're interested. And then finally, private member group. If you want a little bit more market insight, a little bit more interaction with me, I guess, then join up. $5 a month, link in the description below for both of those. Let's get rocking. Okay, so triple Qs, guys. We're really sitting at kind of key points. If I zoom in, this is a daily chart. You can't quite see it, but the 200-day moving average is about 290.09. We are below that right now. All right, now the day's not over. They could come in and save it. We don't exactly know how the day's going to close, but below the 200-day right now really sets the triple Qs up for a move down to the next level of support is about 279, and then you've got these trend lines that have marked the bear market. I kind of have two of them, but in general, these are the bear market trend lines, and those would be the next area of support for triple Qs. So far, looking pretty bearish. The bigger picture, though, I want to point out the SPY, the S&P 500. This one you can see here on the daily chart. Here's your bear market. This started back in, late 2021, basically. We've been making lower lows and lower highs. We had the breakout above the trend, marked in blue here. So there's your breakout. We back tested, and look what's going on now. We are back below, back within the trend. That's very bearish, especially if we close down here. Okay, so, sorry guys, flipping around. Basically what I'm saying here on the SPY is we close back down here, and if we close down here, we're back within the bear trend, and all this price action, all the pump that you heard in the news media and blah, 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 was all just a big old bull trap. And that's going to set this up, that's going to set the market up to take out the lows, all right? The lows being all the way down here at 348. I think we run down on this leg lower, all right, if we're going to make another leg lower, and right now, I think we will. Okay, that's the way I'm leaning. Up down to 338.75, 338 we'll call it. Probably undercut it a little bit with a lot of momentum, but that's your pre-COVID highs right there. So again, I think that's where we're likely heading, and possibly a lot lower. Okay, so rolling back to the daily chart, it's all about the close today. If they can ramp it up into the close and close it back above this trend line, somewhere right in here, or maybe right on the trend line, they'll keep everyone guessing into the weekend, and we won't exactly know how things are going to play out. If they continue to sell this thing off, and right now it's looking pretty weak, then we're going to have that close. We're going to have that bear trap in full effect. As of right now, this is a sell signal on the daily chart, and that's it. You know what to do. Okay, let's look at the small caps as well. I haven't looked at those. Here's what we got going on in the small caps. All right, so small caps, here's your bear market trend coming off of the November 21 timeframe. This was resistance all the way through. We had a breakout. There's a breakout, back test, ran it up and imploding. Now we're basically right there at support, just slightly below as of right now. So again, it comes down to the close. Do they hold it here and kind of ramp it up and close it right on support, or does it continue to break down and indicate a false breakout bull trap? All right. So that's all I see there. It's looking pretty bearish as of right now for sure. Gold. Okay, so gold. Let me flip over to gold here. Here's gold bullion, or the gold futures, up today. Okay, almost 2%, rallying. The risk off trade is in full effect. I talked about that in yesterday's video, how I was anticipating that. I thought we were going to get a risk off trade, and I'm seeing that play out as expected today. So gold rallying, gold miners are all up, although they're kind of being sold a little bit. They're still up today, and they are still looking good in my book. All right, if I go to GDX, we have that bullish divergence fully intact. And, you know, they're selling it down today a little bit after the open, but I suspect we're going to hold and continue to rally. So, again, I like gold. We could dip down and make a new low. As long as we're holding the bullish divergence, I still like it. And I think the downside's limited in gold and the miners. I think we're going to rally here as we do a risk-off trade. And then if you look at TNX, here's your interest rates. Okay, I talked about the negative divergence that was starting to show up. And really starting to show up in the hourly and a little bit in the daily. I was looking for rates to fall, and there you go. Big gap down and sell off as rates are falling, okay? And they're falling because it's a risk-off trade. People are rushing to bonds, and they're rushing to gold, and they're selling all the growth stocks and all the risk-on trade. So that's what's happening. But again, we don't make money after the fact. You'll see a lot of YouTubers come out today, and they'll just tell you what happened in the market. They'll say, hey, this is what happened. And a lot of, you know what I realize a lot of them do is they basically leave questions. Is this the top? Is this the beginning? Is it? And at the end of the day, you gotta pick a trade. You gotta take a position. You gotta have a stance. You gotta have confidence in your trade. Back it up with technicals, of course. Don't just blindly take a trade because you're belligerent and you think something's going to go your way. Back it up with technicals, but at the end of the day, you don't make money questioning which way the market's going to go. I don't know which way it's going to go. And then after the fact, was that the top? Nobody makes any money. The only people that make money in that kind of analysis are YouTubers selling ads on YouTube. So if that's who you guys are following, I suggest looking for a different hobby maybe. All right, let's get into individual trade ideas and we'll wrap up after that. So CAP, talked about this one. Boom, breaking down as expected. Heading down to our next support level, about 225. It's about 226-ish, somewhere right in there. Down 5% today. We're cashing on this one. Okay, so that's working. And yeah, I think there's some more downside here. I mean, I think we'll get a bounce here at this 226 area, probably get a little bounce. But ultimately, we're heading down to the 200. I would put very good probability, and there's a gap to fill down here at 200. Again, those are targets that I think will be hit in the future. We're not going to go straight down there, but yes, I like those targets. Starbucks down about 0.5%. This was kind of just slow and steady on the way down, just like it is kind of on the way up. These blue chip stocks, they just kind of grind down, grind higher. But heading down. All right, next level support down here, 97. Still looks good for more downside. Merck, okay, they ramped this thing up this morning. I noticed it was up when everything else was down, but that's usually in a big down market. The things that are ramping are going to get sold into. And sure enough, they've sold it down already, pretty much flat today. So I still like this for continuation to the downside. I think the next target of support is 102.75, and I think we're going to break that. We'll probably get a minor reaction there, and then ultimately break heading down to 98. Still looks good. Negative divergence we're coming off a divergent high on the daily, which indicates a trend change. So this trend should likely continue to the downside. JP Morgan hitting support today at 129. So that was our target. All right, that was kind of a near-term target right there at 129. Actually, we hit that yesterday. Sorry, guys. Hit that yesterday, or came close at least yesterday. And I reversed long yesterday for a bounce. I was looking for a bounce. Initially, I kind of had two ranges. I thought we could maybe bounce up to, 133-ish, somewhere right in there, up to about this about 133.50. You can see that was former support right there. So I figured we would at least bounce to around there. We did. We overshot that, and then the seller stepped back in. So I re-shorted it right there for a move, really back to 129 for now. I think we'll probably even get there today, potentially back down to 129. And yeah, the banks are looking really weak. There's something going on where banks are starting to blow up. So, that's not gonna fare very well for the market in general. And I mean, on this one, because I've been actively trading it, but again, I do think it will continue to trend lower. We need to take out this 129 area. But in general, we shorted this thing just recently. I told everyone I was basically getting short back here we pretty much got short yesterday. Rode that down for about a 5% gain, then went long, rode it up for another 3% gain, and then I'm shorted again for another percent. Right now we're at about a percent gain. So, that's a 9% gain on this one in a matter of just a few days. Okay, next up, NVIDIA sell signal today. Not fully confirmed yet, but definitely a sell signal. I've got this trend line on the daily. So we've got support, kind of some support right in here. And we're breaking trend today with that sell signal. The day's not over. They obviously could ramp it up and close it back within this wedge. But again, this is a bearish rising wedge pattern that's indicating we're likely going to break down. So I think the target, you can see here, this is your bear market in NVIDIA. And I think the target would be a back test at a minimum of that trend line. And that would be a breakdown of about 26% or so, 26% down there. Probably hit the 200-day moving average. Wheat, all right? So wheat's rallying today. Nothing major, but it's kind of hanging in there. And that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting the downside in wheat to be very limited. I don't see much more downside. If we get more downside, then I'm just wrong in wheat. We need to stop out, all right? So again, on wheat, bullish divergence on the daily chart. We kind of broke near-term support, and to me, I think this is stop rate action. I think we're going to rally from here. All right. So if we don't, I'm wrong. We stop out, and that's really it. Otherwise, these divergences will hold. We'll continue to rally from here. A big tell for me on this one would be a recovery really of kind of this range right in here. We can bounce back up and really recover that 715 area. It's going to show that this was a false breakdown / bear trap. And so that would be a real tell. That would show real strength, and we should have a pretty strong rally out of that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. URI. I gave everyone in the private member group this trade this morning, right when it was triggering, and it's continuing to work out down 6% as of right now. So again, if you took this trade, it paid for your private member group for the entire year, if you put any kind of money on it. So again, I think there's a lot of value in this private member group. Again, this one, support. You can see this trend line here, support here, negative divergence on the daily. All right, we're yesterday pretty much at support, and then today we kind of started to break that, and that was the sell signal. I pointed it out in the private member group. Okay, first level support about 440 we'll call it. That's given way, and we're heading down to the next level of support. This is not even great support either. Right down here, it's about 415. That's just kind of a minor level. I think we'll probably roll down and fill this gap. There's a gap to fill somewhere right in here, which is about 397.55. Probably get a reaction there, and then there's really good support just below at about 369.50. Decent support right down there for sure. So for me, that's kind of the near-term target. That would be my kind of final target on this trade, at least for right now, is about that 370 mark. And from the breakdown, if you took it today, that's a potential 17% drop. So highly profitable as of right now, and I think there's some more downside. Okay, AVGO, and this is really just semiconductors in general. They all look pretty weak. Big negative divergence on the daily chart. Bearish rising wedge pattern to follow. Breakdown, and we had a back test. And again, the back test right there looked like a very objective area to short. All right, and that's what I did. and talked about it on the video on the channel. And this thing's down 5% or so from that perfect entry, but continuing to roll down. So very, very probable we're going to fill this gap, 601.40, likely get a minor reaction there, and then ultimately continue lower. I think there's a lot of downside on this one. All right, so I would be looking for a move. I'm not really looking to game the bounce here. I'm probably looking just to, kind of trend trade this thing, just hold the position as we work our way down to the 200-day moving average. They'll probably try to fight it out there and consolidate for a little bit. And yeah, that's what I've got. So I think there's a lot more downside here. And I'm just flipping over to these financials here. You can see, look at Schwab. I mean, Charles Schwab just getting decimated here. A 2-day, this is a crash, all right? This is a crash in some of these financials. Ally Bank just getting destroyed. JP Morgan's up today. It's the largest one in the financials, but still showing still showing some weakness in terms of the trend and everything. So yeah, these are just not looking good in terms of the market. Visa, breaking trend here. Visa at 217.40. We'll see if that can hold, but that would be a sell signal if it's breaking that support line and likely going to head down to the 200. There's something going on. Okay, and then finally we'll take a look at the VIX. You'll see that the VIX is spiking today. It's up 25% and just rallying pretty strong. This is what you see when you're making that next leg lower in the bear market. So again, that's the way I'm leaning. That's the way I'm positioned. And I'm going to remain that way until I see signs otherwise. As of right now, I think we've started the next leg lower. It's a trend trade, and I'm positioned for that. So VIX is spiking. Not good. So guys, that's all I have for today. You guys drop me a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing. Take the course if you haven't done so. That's going to provide a lot of value to you. And then the private member group is there if you're interested. All right. Again, we put you on some winners today. I mean, we had that URL trade, or that, what was it? URI. Yeah, sorry, URI. That thing's up 6% already. And several others. So I'll continue scanning around, looking for different trade ideas. But again, today's not, there are definitely some trades that are triggering today. And there's definitely some trades that we've already been positioned for, waiting for the move, and we're now getting it. So that's it, guys. Catch you on the next